Today, the Pro Bowlers Tour is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Red Carpet Celebrity Lanes. This is bowling country, and all week the fans have packed the center to watch the pros. It's been an enthusiastic crowd who knows it's bowling, and many of the fans are very opinionated.
Joe Hutchinson is number one. He's crazy like me, and he's going to go all the way. Ah!
I like Earl Anthony because he's my favorite, and when I grow up, I want to be just like him.
Dave Houston all the way. He's been bowling good. He's going to do it. He's hungry for his first title, and he's going to win.
I like Joe Hutchinson. I do.
I'm going with that sharp, double-edged Gillette, Kevin Gillette.
Hey, if Earl Anthony don't win this tournament, I'm going to eat my hat.
Live for the 20th consecutive year, ABC Sports presents the Pro Bowlers Tour. Today it's the championship round for the $125,000 Miller High Life Open. You've already heard who the fans like, so let's meet today's finalists. In fifth place, one of the top young pros on the tour, Dave Houston. In fourth place from Florence, Kentucky, with one career PBA title, Kevin Gillette. In third place from Chagrin Falls, Ohio, the winner of 7 PBA championships, Mike Durbin. In second place from Scranton, Pennsylvania, the holder of 2 PBA titles, colorful Joe Hutchinson. And the tournament leader, who if he wins today, he will have won $100,000 in 1981, Earl Anthony. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live, the vast celebrity lanes, and we've been back here so often. Good reason, because the Miller Brewing Company, one of our oldest sponsors and old friends, delighted to be here because today's field is sort of a cross-section of the PBA membership itself. For instance, 20-year-old David Houston looking for his first win. Then you have Kevin Gillette with 1 win, Mike Durbin. Among other things, the Firestone Tournament of Champions, scrappy Joe Hutchinson from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and the record breaker, Earl Anthony. And with Earl Anthony right now is my colleague who won the Miller High Life Open in 1972. Let's go to St. Louis's own Nelson Burton Jr. Bo.
Thank you, Chris. In 1975, Earl Anthony had to go to the very last tournament of the year to surpass the $100,000 mark. Yet with only 10 weeks gone, if he wins today, he can once again surpass that $100,000 mark. Earl, what do you owe this phenomenal start to in this tremendous $100,000 year?
Well, I think, Bo, that the biggest change has been the number of dollars available in the prize funds. We've had some great tournaments, great sponsors like Miller to put up that kind of money. That's what makes it possible for somebody to do that.
Earl, if you win today, it'll be 4 out of 5. How long can you keep up that pace?
Well, I'm going to skip a week next week, take a vacation, play a little golf, relax, and I'm going to come back out and try to do it again the last 5 of the year.
If you would happen to have a sensational year in the summer, too, how much do you think you can win?
That's a good question, Bo. If I can keep it going, I'm going to get as much as I can. That's all I can tell you. I'd like to go to the $200,000 mark.
Okay, Chris, he might go up with Jimmy Connors one of these days.
Okay, and Nelson Burton Jr. didn't do too badly here this week. He finished 11th and I think took home a check of $2,600. But today and throughout the week, a total purse of $125,000, 21 to the winner, 11 second, 7,500, 6 and 5. Stay tuned for our live coverage of our first match, David Houston and Kevin Gillette, right after this.
Time. We've got the beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Here comes the tough new 1981 Ford. Once again, Ford's got the jump on its competition. Yes, Ford has the jump with the only pickup with estimated MPG this high and 2,500-pound payloads. Ford has the jump with the longest range of any pickup. Nobody has mileage and range this high with payload this big. See the tough 1981 Ford. It's got the jump on its competitors to give you the jump where it counts. At the pump.
And here we are returning live to the red carpet lanes. There you see our first two professional competitors on the right, Kevin Gillette. And in the number 5 position, taking a seat now, David Houston, 20 years old from Milwaukee, Oregon. Florence, Kentucky's own 29-year-old Kevin Gillette. His mom and dad are here watching with this standing room only crowd, shooting on the left lane, first shot. Well, leaving the 2.58 on the left lane, this 5-foot 10-inch pro.
Chris, to set up the pair at 63 and 64 here at Celebrity Lanes in Milwaukee. And the left lane for the right-handed players hooks a little more than the right-hand lane.
Unfortunately, chopping the 2 and 8. 5 remain standing. This is the first appearance for Kevin Gillette on the Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. A lot of pressure. He'll overcome it. Now for David Houston, it's his first appearance so far this year, but he's made 2 other appearances, looking for his first win. Powerful ball. We talked to David earlier about his grip, why he switched to a fingertip.
Well, the conventional grip was fine when I could hook the ball out when the lanes were hooking. And now I've switched to the fingertip grip, and it's much more accurate, and I can make a lot more spares that way.
Young man, very active, Bo, in his high school days, in the choir, on the golf team, little basketball.
And what a great bowling talent.
Oh, he is on in this championship pair position round. He shot a 268, so he's taking up where he left off yesterday.
And he bowled it on this pair of lanes. He was a tremendous comeback. Kevin Gillette won the Canadian Open last summer, his only PBA victory. But Chris, he was very solid under the gun and under the pressure last night and came through again in the position round to stay on the top 5.
From Florence, Kentucky. That's all he needed. Let's look at the profile on a replay of Kevin Gillette.
Really a nice arm swing, stays low at the line. The only thing he has a little problem with is getting his shoulders a little too far forward, such as right there. But with that arm lock and very strong in the upper body, he lifts the ball well out over the lane and straight through the shot. See that arm going directly towards the target. Excellent shot, great results, kick the 10 out.
Carefully places himself on the approach, hoping for a double. Didn't come up, leaving the 2.
Chris, the reason the ball goes a little wide on that is, and this is a good lesson for the people at home, is if you let your shoulders roll too far forward, it's hard to get through the ball and lift it out on the lane with a consistent amount of lift. That time he hit his spot, but yet did not get quite the finish he expected. Keep that weight balanced.
Kevin Gillette. So many interesting stories in the PBA of the pros. Kevin Gillette, who was a car salesman when the economy slowed down, came out on the tour. He's looking for his first dollar. Of course, today, the least he can make is $5,000. Here's David Houston now. He's got a double working, shooting in the 3rd frame. Ten-pin. And he's trying to stare it down as we recheck his profile.
And one of the really powerful profiles of the tour. Tall, lanky, and he uses all that arm swing and power. Look at how high that swing is. Very much like Mark Roth, his roommate, and comes all the way through. Watch his arm go through the target with full extension. Tremendous power in that shot.
And now cross lane for the 10. We're at the Celebrity Lanes in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, home of the 2 sanctioning bodies of bowling, the American Bowling Congress and WIBC, the Women's International Bowling Congress. Have a lot to do with your game, Bob.
They sure do, Chris, and They've done a lot of favors in sanctioning this game over the years, and over 10 million sanctioned bowlers in the country today.
On the left lane, Husted. Blowing him off the lanes. David Husted, a strike in the fourth, leading by 20. We'll take a break and then return.
Today, bowling's more fun than ever, especially with AMF Magic Score. You knock 'em down, Magic Score adds 'em up. So this weekend, why not bring a friend bowling? You'll enjoy it even more with AMF Magic Score.
I'm Joe Duncan, State Farm agent, Cincinnati, Ohio, speaking for thousands of State Farm agents around the country. You know, there are a lot of reasons why people come to State Farm agents and stick with State Farm agents year after year. I think one of the big reasons is service. State Farm built its reputation on service. People expect it, they are paying for it, and we deliver.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Imagine swimming over 2 miles through rough surf, biking 112 miles under blazing sun, and running an entire marathon, all in one day, all in the Endurance Triathlon, plus the World Dance Figure Skating Championship. ABC's Wide World of Sports is next.
Isn't it difficult to imagine the Endurance Triathlon? Well, you can see it today on Wide World of Sports, along with the beauty of ice dancing in the World Championships from Hartford, Connecticut. There's our alternate. In other words, he finished 6th in this tremendous field in Milwaukee.
Dave Capel, a powerful player who's starting to get his game together, really bowled well, got a few bad breaks the last game, a solid 8 and a swishing 7-10, or he'd have made the top 5.
4th frame, spare working for Kevin Gillette. Second strike and 4 frames, and earlier we had a chance to discuss with him his inconsistency up to now.
Well, the reason I was inconsistent this year is I came out with the same game that I played last year, and it just wasn't good enough. And I changed it a couple of weeks ago, and to get more pocket power. And this week it all came together for me.
And the change he made, Chris, is a little more wrist lift on the ball, and a little more pocket. You saw it on that swisher he just had. There's his wife Carla, who's definitely rooting for Kevin.
Cuts the lead to 10 pins here in our first match. The winner to meet Mike Durbin, then Joe Hutchison, and then Earl Anthony.
What a tremendous break Kevin got. Watch the head pin. It'll go to the sideboard and come in behind the 2-4-5 and actually tilt the 2-pin forward. Watch this. Very unusual hit. Come on, Kevin, get out of the way. There we go. That's a head pin slid right in there. Knocked the 2 forward. A great break. It's a double, and he only trails Husted by 10 pins now.
All right, and now David Husted is talking to our tournament director, Harry Golden, checking on the rack. His concentration was broken. He stepped off the approach. So he gets a re-rack here in the right lane. What's the rule in re-racks, Nelson?
A reminder, Chris, the players are allowed 1 re-rack during the top of their game on television. But if they need another one, such as Husted might need this game, he would have to ask the tournament director.
You saw the tournament leaders, a long week. Leaving the 6-10 on the right lane. Didn't look nearly as smooth.
Chris, you wonder if it's upsetting to the players sometimes when they get that re-rack. Remember Earl Anthony last week in the national championship. He asked for 2 re-racks. It's the only 2 errant shots he made in the final game. David Husted asked for a re-rack, and he also made an errant shot. The wife of 1 year, Michelle Husted.
Dave, that is a spare in the 5th. If you just joined us, this is our first match, live coverage from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Husted leading by 10. He'll be shooting in the 6th frame as Joe Hutchison, who finished 2nd overall, at one time tournament leader in 3 sessions. He's just keeping loose. Winner of this will meet Mike Durbin.
Ball cutting through very sharply. The pins we're using this week are 3-pound, 4-ounce, about the average of what they use on the PBA Tour. But really, they're not much of a match for the power of a pro's ball. So the best percentage hit is the light hit, such as Houston had in the very first frame. Keep it light and swish those pins out of there.
And covered the 4-pin on the left lane, and a 9-pin lead by this 20-year-old looking for his first win. Now Kevin Gillette is back up. As we pointed out, failing to cash thus far, so today is a big day because it's expensive out here on the tour. Nelson, do you have a general average of what it costs a pro to compete in your tournaments?
Chris, the entry fee is $180 a week, but the tremendous prize money available to the fellows that can make it out here for a living.
That'll help. In fact, that gives Gillette a 1-pin lead because of the 3-bagger.
Watch the 5 drive straight back into the 8. It almost leaves a solid 8-pin. Look at that, just nicked it with the ball as it went through. Gillette using a rubber ball today, David Houston using a plastic ball. It seems like all the lines and all the angles have worked for the players this week. Gillette preferring a little more of the outside line around the first arrow. Houston around the second arrow.
Crossing over, he thought it was a total loss. A 4-bagger and 11-pin lead for Kevin Gillette. We'll be back after this message.
We are very proud of you, Peabody. Thank you, sir. Your design of the Firestone 721 is brilliant.
Well,
a tire using 7 around 2 wrapped by 1. Genius.
Oh.
24 million on the road, Peabody. And we're grateful.
Chief,
Just one more thing.
Sure.
Now, Peabody, we want you to top it.
Top it?
The Firestone 721. It's one tough tire to top.
10 tough mean beards versus one Bic shaver. Can one Bic shave them all?
Bic, say your prayers. My beard's gonna send this Bic to the showers.
That Bic is gonna beg for mercy.
It's amazing. It looks like one Bic shaver is going to shave these 10 tough beards.
Looks like Bic wins. I got a great shave also.
No way. Let me see the replay. Yes, one Bic shaved these 10 tough beards. How many shaves can you get?
Next week, the Pro Bowlers Tour travels to Overland Park, Kansas for the $100,000 King Louis Open, where colorful Ernie Schlegel will be on hand to defend his title. So join ABC Sports next Saturday for coverage of the championship round, live at 3:30 Eastern Time.
And if he makes the finals next week at Overland Park, what sort of a costume will Ernie Schlegel wear? He's a defending champion. Of course, we'll be there live, though.
David Houston trails by 11. Hasn't had any good breaks in this match. Kevin Gillette, very fortunate so far.
Needed that one in the 7th frame. David Houston, replay the stroke.
Now we'll watch what we said, the light pins. See the light hit for the pros. The ball will drive right through the 1-3 and rip the 5 over into the 4-7. That's the high percentage for the pro bowlers. Tremendous pin action. Remember, revolutions is the name of the game. The amount of hook you have doesn't make a much difference, though. A guy like David Houston has about 13 or 14 revs on that ball. Tremendous power.
And now the match is close again. 1 pin separating these two pros. A non-winner in Houston. One-time winner of the Canadian Open in Gillette, who will be shooting next. Meanwhile, Mike Durbin, you hear the pin fall. He's practicing off to the right. Former tournament champion winner. Total of 7 titles.
Gillette in the 4th and 6th frame has been around the pocket in his right-hand lane and has gotten good strikes. He's had good luck on the left-hand lane. He leads by 1, can extend that lead to 11.
Gillette, after a shaky first frame, has really come out of the box. Now he's got a 5-bagger going, and he's back to an 11-pin lead in our first match.
Key shot for Gillette. He's been light and tripped the 2-pin forward in the 5th frame. in the 7th frame. He was very lucky, crossed all the way over the Brooklyn, has taken advantage of both those lucky strikes, has menaged it into a 5-bagger. With one more strike in the 9th, he would have a 21-pin lead.
Expressive, he ran it out. Kevin Gillette. Let's get his reaction one more time.
Look at those eyes.
Right.
Don't count this young man out, Chris. He shot 268 the last game, as you said last night. He is definitely tough under the pressure.
Double up 9th frame. Like that. David Houston, whose father, Champ, this is his wife, Michelle, was a former member of the PBA and in the Oregon State Bowling Hall of Fame.
This game reminds me a lot of the first game we started this year's championship round with, Chris, at the Miller High Life in Anaheim. We had a tie match. Once again, if Houston can strike on this ball, it sets a position where he'll only be trailing by 1 pin. It could be another tie.
Hit leaving the 6-10.
David Houston with a mark will force Kevin Gillette to get a good count and a mark. Houston pulled it a little high, broke through, broke down the 4-7 to 6-10, cross lane to 6-10. The best he can shoot is 226.
Kevin Gillette looking at the score sheet. All right. David Houston, who has a sister who attends Oregon State, named Jerry, probably watching.
Important shot for Houston. If he strikes, he forces Gillette to mark. Gillette cannot win without a mark if Houston strikes.
Everything but the 7-pin. Loser of this match gets $5,000. The winner, of course, has an opportunity to move a step closer to the $21,000 that will go to the Miller High Life Open champion.
The situation for Gillette is if he gets a strike or 9 on the first ball, he wins this match. If he gets less than 9, he must convert the spare to win the match from Houston.
Hoping. Bride, Carla Gillette. So Kevin Gillette now has the opportunity to move up, and Mike Durbin hasn't been on the telecast, a chance to make some big money for a long time, and he will be tough. That will be the opponent. Gillette really stringing them here. He'll be in the 250s. Let's pause a few minutes to hear these messages from some of the people who bring you the Pro Bowlers Tour.
The Pro Bowlers Tour. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. By Dutch Master Cigars. There really are masters at Dutch Masters. And by Firestone, makers of the 721 steel-belted radial. The Firestone 721. It's one tough tire to top.
Coming up next, Kevin Gillette versus Mike Durbin. The Pro Bowlers Tour will continue after this message from one of our sponsors and station identification.
The Dutch Masters buyers are in France for the international auction of rare African Cameroon tobacco. There are 2 secrets they must keep to win some of the best leaf for Dutch Masters. The exact leaf they want and the price they'll pay.
That's a nice color.
When their bid is opened by the French auctioneers, they'll learn if they've won some of the best.
Acheteur Dutch Masters.
Taste the taste the world competes for in a Dutch Masters Cameroon cigar. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
For a quality design tool set that's priced for home use, get the Master Mechanic Fix-It Kit for just $7.77 as True Value Hardware Store's Tool Value of the Month. You get a versatile set of 4 tools, an 8-inch adjustable wrench, a 6-inch slip joint pliers, and 2 screwdrivers, 1 regular and 1 Phillips. Get the Master Mechanic Fix-It Kit for just $7.77 while supplies last at True Value hardware stores and home centers displaying this banner.
When you get to be my age, some people think you drive like my granddaughter here, a beginner. But not my insurance company, Colonial Penn. They specialize in car insurance for good drivers 50 and over. And because I qualify, they will never drop me for having an accident or making a claim. Guaranteed.
Ready, Grandma?
Ensure the best years of your life with Colonial Penn.
New Backwoods Smokes just hit town. Looking wild, but tasting mild.
New Backwoods Smokes. How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild? New Backwoods Smokes. How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild?
New Backwoods Smokes. All natural tobacco, hand-rolled look in a keep 'em fresh pocket pouch.
How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild?
KTNV TV, Las Vegas.
Kevin Gillette of Florence, Kentucky. 9 strikes at 258 to David Houston's 225. 6 strikes for Houston, and now Gillette goes against the experienced Mike Durbin. Among other things, the Tournament of Champion winner is 39 years old, 7 titles. Gillette will shoot first on the left lane here at the Celebrity Lanes in Milwaukee.
Gillette 258 the first game. The only other time he had bowled in the television finals was last summer, and he bowled 248, Chris, so he's not afraid of those cameras.
He had a string of 8 at one time in his first match. Well, he's had 2 of those today. A little Brooklyn action. Watch this.
What a repertoire of strikes. He's tripped the 2, he's gone Brooklyn, and then he had the famous Jersey squasher, pushing him straight back.
Durbin's. Oh, coming so close to the channel. Mike Durbin, 39 years old, 6'1", 175.
Mike trying the plastic ball in the first shot, said if he didn't like his reaction, would go to the rubber ball. He picked it up for the spare.
Well, we asked Mike Durbin earlier why he plays that far outside line. Here's what he said.
I play outside on the PBA Tour because when it seems like when I play inside, my ball has a tendency to bounce back at me. So more or less for self-defense purposes, I play outside whenever I can.
What he means by bounce back is a bowler's terminology for the ball not hitting the 5-pin very hard.
So after the open frame in the first here in the second, he leaves at 2, 4, 5. The man that last year finished 5th in the Firestone Tournament of Champions. That was his last appearance on our telecast.
Such a versatile player. Depends mostly on accuracy. Doesn't throw the big hook, but usually keeps the ball in play. And from that outside angle, usually gets good carry.
All right, it's a spare for Mike Durbin of Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. We're bringing you live the Miller High Life Open from Milwaukee. Winner of the first game, 258 to 225, Kevin Gillette. Second frame, strike up. The 4.
Gillette trying to capitalize on that lucky break in the first frame. Did not trip the 4. It's been very close on the right-hand lane, in the pocket most every shot. Very fortunate on the left-hand lane. If he can zero in on the left-hand lane, he could be very tough the next 2 matches, Chris.
Oh, he has 6 steps on his approach.
The only other player we've seen like that is Mark Roth.
Today, our bowling tip of the week with Nelson will be on bowling courtesy.
with Mark Roth. He does quite his usual job. Kind of comical. Gillette probably just still fishing on this left-hand lane. Needs to make one really good shot to know what the ball is going to do.
Satisfied, although he left the 10.
Definitely. At least he has a reaction, as the players say. He knows where the ball is going and knows what spot and how to throw it now. Some of the players wonder why they would use rubber balls on some lanes and plastic on others. It seems like the rubber balls will hook a little bit more. They don't respect the oil quite as much as a plastic ball. So if you need hook, go with some of the soft rubber balls.
With lots of speed, cross lane on the 10, a spare in the 3rd. Leading in this first match against Mike Durbin, who opened in the 1st, spare in the 2nd, now shooting in the 3rd. Mixer strike in the 3rd, giving him 29 through the 2nd. Mike Durbin.
And you can see the difference with the soft rubber ball. Durbin, who left the 2-4-10, the first frame, ball skidding by, switched to the softer rubber ball, which hooks about a board or two more for him. He got the finish that he wanted.
Oh, should the average bowlers use the same equipment that the pros do?
Well, it's tough sometimes on the tour lanes, Chris. For the avid bowler, I would say they should own both one plastic and one rubber. But almost any of the top quality balls that are made today work on all conditions.
Okay. That double evens the match. All even. Our second match, our live coverage, originating in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We'll return to the beer capital of the world after this.
Hurry, Ford and your participating Ford dealers' 10% cash assistance program ends March 21st. Right now, Ford will send you back 10% of the base vehicle sticker price on roomy new 81 Fairmonts, 10% back on hot new Mustangs, 10% back on beautiful new Ford Granadas, and 10% back on 81 Thunderbirds. Ford's 10% cash assistance. Hurry, you must order by March 21st.
Get 10% from Ford.
Lots of families worry about money, but not us, because we're not alone.
We belong to a credit union, and we use it.
My paycheck goes straight in. It's like keeping the money in the family, because the members own the credit union.
And credit unions aren't out to make a profit.
That's why I got a low rate on my car loan.
That's why I get high interest on my savings.
We're a strong family, and we're part of one that's even stronger. America's Credit Unions. A family 44 million strong.
Back again at the red carpet, Celebrity Lanes in Milwaukee. We're in our second game, our live coverage here on ABC. This is the man that won the first match, 258 to David Husted's 225. Now he's bowling Mike Durbin. The match is all even. Gillette shooting in the 4th, the spare working. That one crossed over, but 3-6 standing on the right lane. This 29-year-older from Florence, Kentucky. Very expressive bowler. And trying so hard. He's only been a PBA member 2 years, 1 win. Going for a spare and just gets it in the 4th frame. And let's go down on the approach to our right and Bo Burton.
Joe, what do you see on the TV pair? It looks like the left lane's hooking a little more.
Bo, I tell you what, I've been playing pretty much straight all week, and I've got a bowl in about 15 minutes, and as of right now, I don't know, and I'm honest, whether I'm going to play in, out, hook it, or go straight, and I'm telling you what, that's a heck of a way to walk over to bowl a match, but I'm serious.
Joe, you were tough the last time you were on. Good luck again.
Thank you.
Kevin Gillette, steady, going to the line. He didn't like that shot. Maybe he didn't keep his head quite as level as he moved to the line. He usually does it. He left the 6-10 on the left lane. 4 pins now separating these two pros. Second match, the winner to meet Joe Hutchinson, whom you just heard from, and then the winner of that game to meet Earl Anthony. So now Durbin, with a 4-pin lead and a double up, shooting in the 5th frame, can go out to 14 pins.
Chris, the consensus of the other 4 players was that Mike Durbin had the best trajectory to the pocket on the championship pair. Earl Anthony says Durbin is going to be tough. With another strike here, he can extend his lead to 14.
He does just that. Ah, the beauty of replay as we see how Mike Durbin does it.
The tremendous style of Mike Durbin. He's won with 3 steps, 4 steps, and even 5 steps. Notice how he has a short arm swing. Because he has short arms, he's powerful upper body, good knee bend, and look at that follow through direct to the target. What a silhouette. That is almost perfect.
72 lanes across here. Celebrity lanes. See that big 3-bagger there. Now Durbin will be shooting in the 6th frame. Second match. First for Mike. Can't believe it.
Ball cut through very sharply on the left-hand lane. We said, as David Husted said as he came off, I just talked to him, the left-hand lane breaks quite a bit more. Mike thinks it's a good shot. It looks solid. The ball just snapped right at the back end. He couldn't believe it. Left the 4-pin. But from that outside angle, remember, you catch the good light hits, but you often give up the high hit.
Nelson, did you trip any 4s this week?
Chris, if you don't have all the shots, the trip 4, the wall shot, the swisher, and the solid shot, and a little luck like Kevin Gillette had the first game, you don't get much money on the Pro Tour.
All right, now Gillette won the first game 258 to 225. Shooting in the 6th, the spare up, trailing by 13.
First bad break he's had so far in his 2 matches. You have to remember, as you play on rolling lanes, whether it's you league players or not, the lanes are going to start hooking more. Look at Gillette's ball. He cut right through. He's very surprised. The right-hand lane's starting to hook more. He has to make an adjustment on the approach.
4-6. Powered the ball. So it's the open frame for a man that shot 258 in the first game, Kevin Gillette.
Has to call on all his resources now because he's bowling against an extremely experienced player in Mike Durbin. Durbin does not give matches away. Gillette's going to go out and have to take this one.
Didn't come up, leaving the 2.
The only problem I can see with Gillette's game, and probably the reason he has been somewhat inconsistent so far this year, Chris, is that shoulder bend. He is so far over the top of the ball, it's difficult to have a consistent arm swing, a consistent lift and loft with the shoulders so far forward.
All right, making a spare in the 7th frame, Mike Durbin is leading Gillette by 26. A pause and then more live action from Milwaukee.
America has become overly dependent on foreign oil. Suppose that foreign oil was cut back. To help control our energy future, we need to find and develop more oil, gas, other energy sources here in America. And we need to use less. If you'd like more information, it's available in the Energy Independence book, free from Shell. Shell believes there is an answer to our energy problems. It's to find more and use less.
In an independent test,
over 1,000 different people were asked.
Which TV set had the best overall color picture?
More people chose the 19-inch Sylvania Super Set
than either RCA or Zenith.
This is the 4th year in a row
that Sylvania was chosen by the people
as having the best color picture.
Sylvania may not be the biggest, but a lot of people think Sylvania's got the
best color
picture.
The Kansas City Royals, the Philadelphia Phillies, a rematch that's World Series.
People are enjoying this, and I'm working my tail.
On the Super Teams. Then on ABC's International Boxing, the U.S. takes on Venezuela in amateur action. On ABC's Wide World of Sports, rev up for one of stock car racing's premier events, the Atlanta 500. And from pumping the pedal to pumping iron, the World Cup Bodybuilding Championships. Super Teams, team boxing, and teaming excitement. ABC Sports has it all tomorrow.
IS Sports on ABC tomorrow. Super Teams, Kansas City, Philadelphia, USA versus Venezuela in boxing, the Atlanta 500 stock car race, and World Cup bodybuilding.
Richard Petty should be tough in that 500.
So will my pal Cale Yarborough and A.J. Foyt, Bo.
Definitely. Durbin leads by 26. Spare up.
So Mike had a three-bagger, frames 3 through 5, a spare in the 6th, now a strike in the 7th frame.
The reason the players on the championship round today think that Durbin has the best shot, not only his bowling excellence, but the line he's playing, that extreme outside line, Chris, looks like the most consistent on this pair of lanes. He doesn't get the extremely sharp break on the left lane and the skid and slide on the right-hand lane. Both lanes are playing about the same for Durbin. Makes it much easier to keep your rhythm.
Just a beautiful strike in the 8th frame, a double and a lead of 36 pins with Gillette about to come up with a spare working. Endurance triathlon from Hawaii. You have to see it to believe it, along with the beauty of World Ice Dancing Figure Skating Championship. That follows here on ABC. Crossing over. And that's the 3rd strike on the left side for a right-hander for Gillette today.
If his name was Dave Davis, he'd been proud of this shot. But Gillette, once again, gets a good break. 3-pin going to the sideboard, tripping out the 6-10. But that keeps him in the match more. Right now, with Gillette strikes in the 9th, 10th, and 11th, he could finish with a 2-12. That would put Durbin only 6 pins ahead.
All right.
Very important shot to stay in the match. He must have this one.
6 steps to the line. Well, that time he didn't get them all. 10 pin. We talk about his 6, while Mike Durbin is the only bowler on the PBA Tour to have won national events with 3, 4, and 5 step approaches, Bo.
Quite a credit to his talent.
A wry smile on the face of Kevin Gillette of Florence, Kentucky. Now, Durbin occasionally will show some emotion. If he gets a strike here, he'll show plenty, I believe, with a double up.
Match well in hand. The only thing Durbin has to watch out for, playing that extreme outside line, that he doesn't dip one off into the channel for a 0.
Three-bagger. Yes, Mike Durbin will be tough.
Watch the line of Durbin in the loft he has. See the ball bouncing out there, playing around the 3rd board, sliding it out to about the 2nd. Then watch the 6 slap into the 10. That extreme outside line gives you the great carry if you can control the pocket.
Grooved Mike Durbin. The next opponent will be Joe Hutchinson. Scrappy Scranton Joe Hutchinson. So, that'll be the next match, and our live coverage will continue, but first this pause.
I can't see a thing, Stan. Did you turn on the windshield wipers? Of course I did. See? No, I can't. Obviously. We need new wipers. We obviously need new wipers.
Replace your old blades at least once a year with Anco, with specially formulated natural rubber for a smooth, clean wiping action.
That's a lot better, Ollie. Certainly is. Let's drive on.
Not too fast, Ollie. Might be a school zone.
Me, I take care of myself. Here and here. That's why I use Skin Bracer from Menon. It's for men who take care of their skin every day. You have to. Shaving is rough. Skin Bracer tightens your pores. That's the tingle. It refreshes your skin and smooths it. Hey, it's not cologne. It's skin care that feels good. You need that after shaving.
You smell terrific.
Thanks. I needed that.
Menon Skin Bracer takes care of men who take care of their skin.
What this country needs today is a really good rental truck at a really good price. So Ryder presents the $19.95 a day truck. For local rentals, this 18-foot Ryder truck is now only $19.95 a day plus mileage. And Ryder has great rates on other size trucks too, from small vans up to giant tractors. What this country needs today is a really good rental truck at a really good price. Ryder.
In our brackets here, you see that Gillette won the first game handily. But in the second against Mike Durbin, a 182, Durbin with 9 strikes, 248. And now Joe Hutchinson is Durbin's opponent in the semifinal, and the victor of that will go into the finals of the Miller High Life Open against the great Earl Anthony, all live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. On the right is our friend Bruce Pluckon. He's the curator of the Bowling Hall of Fame, presenting the Bowling Writers Association of America trophy to Bowler of the Year, Wayne Webb. What a great honor.
Wayne Webb took over where Mark Roth left out. Wayne Webb dominating the tour last year as Roth had done the 3 previous years. Is off to a good start this year. He's made the telecast twice, has just been not fortunate enough to win a game. He'll be back.
All right, here's the match. Number 3. Another stop on the Professional Bowlers Tour. And now will be Joe Hutchison shooting first. There you get a look at the 31-year-old from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Grew up the hard way. He's tough on the approaches, I'll tell you.
And a powerful man physically. Well, we're going to see something with 2 different lines. If Hutchinson plays that extreme inside line and Durbin the extreme outside line, and Earl Anthony from the left channel, we're going to see a varied attack to the pocket. Joe sliding by on his first shot.
And he marks with a spare, covering the 1-2 on the left lane. Oh, he gets that tension released now after bowling in the first frame. And here's Durbin, who had 9 strikes in the last game of victory, 248 to 182 over Kevin Gillette. Four-pin.
Durbin, a disciplined athlete and a disciplined bowler. He's always in super shape. And if you're going to build a game for your young child, watch Durbin's. Everything's in ideal position. Shoulders level, knee bend, straight arm swing. He's got it all. One of the most consistent players in the last 15 years to ever hit the Pro Bowlers Tour. And he's won some of the big ones.
So we're all even after a frame. Our Professional Bowlers Tour telecasts continue next week from Overland Park, Kansas, the King Louis Open, then to Miami, Florida for the True Value Open, and to Baltimore for the Fairlanes Open, and then to Long Island, Garden City, the Long Island Open. Next 4 weeks, live telecasts. We hope you'll be with us.
Durbin only making a 1-board move difference between the left lane and the right lane. Definitely has the best shot. Had an excellent 248 the first game.
All right. Dancing them off the boards. Striking the second. Had capacity crowds here all week, and this is a huge bowling establishment.
As Joe told me before he went on, he had no special game plan. He doesn't have a feel for the lanes. He has to get going to keep some pressure on Durbin.
Avoiding a split, leaving only the 3. Look at that face.
Comical, but he's really a tough competitor, Chris. When you need a strike to win, Joe Hutchinson's one of the men you can go to. He is tough in the clutch.
A man that enjoys life, takes it seriously, but enjoys along the way. So earlier we asked him about entertaining the crowds across the country.
Entertaining the crowd helps keep me loose, and you know, it's nice to hear someone cheer and everything, and it just pumps me up, and that's the main thing, to keep that adrenaline flowing.
So the fiery redhead now goes over to the left lane, shooting in the 3rd frame. One. And that's the difference at the moment. 1 pin, but Durbin can increase it because he has a strike working, now shooting in the 3rd. Wing and a Prayer got that one.
Durbin really taking advantage of the outside line. Look at how wide this ball is. It just rips right through the 5, sliding right into the 4. That's that angle of attack. Gives you that good carry on the light hits. Durbin very happy with it. Leads by 10, 11. He can extend to 21 with one more strike.
In Mike's career, he's won $308,000. Three-bagger and a 21-pin lead in the semifinal. With the winner of this match in our live coverage, will go into the finals against Earl Anthony. We'll be back.
North club's clear and head wall's clear.
And I guess it's Miller time. Last one down buys.
Right. I can taste that free beer now.
When it's time to relax.
What took you so long?
One beer stands clear, Miller beer, if you got the time. We got the beer.
Every professional bowler has an arsenal of his own, special weapons for special lane conditions. Now, you can have your own arsenal in just 2 bowling balls from AMF. The AMF 3-Dot Classic in hard rubber for normal lane conditions. Now, the AMF 3-Dot Classic in soft rubber for lanes that demand more traction. Hard rubber 3-Dot, soft rubber 3-Dot. The arsenal from AMF. Imagine swimming over 2 miles through rough surf, biking 112 miles under blazing sun, and running an entire marathon, all in one day, all in the Endurance Triathlon, plus the World Dance Figure Skating Championship. ABC's Wide World of Sports is next.
Imagine doing all that in the Endurance Triathlon. You can see it on Wide World tomorrow, along with the beauty of world ice dancing in the championships from Hartford, Connecticut. Been 5 telecasts, this man, Earl Anthony. Not only endurance, but tremendous skill, and he will meet the winner of the match that continues now against Joe Hutchinson and Mike Durbin.
Where are you going to throw this one from? Jeez.
Leaving the 10-pin.
It wasn't a bad guess. Yeah, what are you going to do? Guess here, guess there.
Hutchinson, a powerful player, gets his shoulders a little farther forward than some of the other players, but he's so strong in the upper body, he can pull it through even with that bent arm style. He's a ring and 10 on that shot.
All right, Mitch.
All right. Mike accepted the option of wearing a wireless microphone, or rather, Joe did. And listen. So I don't confuse all of you, triathlon is on Wide World next, along with World Ice Dancing.
Oh, dear.
That's what I say, Joe.
Remember how he entertained the crowds at the AMF Classic when he won it last year. Once again, Joe did it this week, but he has to get going in this match. He trails Durbin by 22.
Loose, and he is against a competitor. He's got it all together. 3-bagger up, shooting in the 5th frame, leading by 22. This is live from Milwaukee. Four-bagger as we look at the footwork of Mike Durbin.
Durbin with an ideal style. 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slide, lift through. A perfect shot. Look at how that foot is perpendicular to the foul line. The arm extended, the knee bent. And great results. He leads by 32. 4-bagger working. Talk about a man with a powerful upper body, Chris. Mike Durbin, although he doesn't act a lot like Joe Hutchinson, is a powerful man with tremendous bicep and forearm strength.
5 in a row. Remember, in his last match victory, 248-182 over Kevin Gilletti at 9 strikes.
Watch the six pin do his work. Second pin on the left right-hand part of your screen. That angle of attack allows the six go to the sideboard and nail that 10. Durbin streaking, leads by 42.
All right, 98 through the 5th with a strike up for Hutchison. Strike in the 6th frame of the semifinal game.
About 80 pins.
There's the scoreboard to the left of the players as they see it, and Hutchison has changed his angle of attack. He has moved to an outside line, much like Durbin's.
All right.
High and
I'm going to go to the men's
again
room
see a
after
4-6.
Forget about this in a hurry.
We said the left-hand lane hooked more. Joe Hutchison thought he had a strike. He said, all right, when he let go of the ball, cuts through, disastrous 4-6.
Joe disgusted with himself, giving him 26 through 7. Cool Mike Durbin. 7th frame, leading by 54. Six in a row. And Bo, how about telling us about those cashing 6 through 24?
We started with a field of 192 players, Chris. Here's the top 24. Capel, Bo Bowden, a close all the way. Bowler of the Year, Wayne Webb, consistent as usual. Henry Gonzalez had a chance to make the championship round. President George Pappas, steady as always. Dave Johnson in 12th, Westberg in 13th.
Yeah, but look who was in 11th.
I get lucky every once in a while.
Well, you need the money, Bo.
Lacey Rojek Spigner and Skip Tucker bowling well this week.
Count them. 7 in a row, a 74-pin lead in the semifinal game.
Richard Martinez, who made the final round in the Quaker State. Eddie Ressler Jr. bowling steady. Bill Coleman up there.
8th frame strike for Joe Hutchison from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
The best Hutch can shoot is 216. The match is over. Durbin streaking with 7 in a row. Durbin could possibly have the highest game we've had so far on the telecast. He can possibly shoot 290.
One more, I can't hit this alley. Can't hit this alley to save my life. Good thing I don't have to hit it to save my life.
Now quickly the 3-pin. Just wasting no time at all. Frustration, Joe Hutchison is sparing the 9th.
Both players not wasting much time. Durbin working on a 7-bagger. Possible 290 with 4 more strikes.
All right, a high hit, leaving the 4-7. And the applause for Mike Durbin as he has bowled 2 tremendous games here, winning over Gillette and now over Joe Hutchison. Following conclusion of this, the semifinal game, we'll have a Rolaids bowling tip of the week.
Chris, with a starting field of 192, they paid 48 spots. It took a 206 average to cash 48th and a 209 average to make the top 24. And for you statistics buffs, and all the games bowled in the tournament, 49% were over 200, 51% under 200.
And what about the Pro-Am, Nelson? A record 2,880 bowlers, including 1,152 junior bowlers. All right, coming up next, Mike Durbin will go against Earl Anthony. The Pro Bowlers Tour will continue after this message from one of our sponsors and station identification.
Miss Cole's big trouble. What'd you get me?
Well, you've been sniffling, sneezing in your head, Stuffy. So I got you some time capsules.
But I'm also coughing, aching, feverish. And tonight, I gotta rest.
I was supposed to get a sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine?
That's NyQuil. Relieves everything these capsules do, plus other symptoms they don't.
NyQuil.
I need some.
I'll get some.
NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine.
Working late again, Mr. Peabody?
Afraid so, Rose.
You were the genius who designed the Firestone 721 tire.
That's my problem. They want me to top it.
Top it? But isn't the 721 what they call a winner?
Oh, sure. It's got 7 around 2 wrapped by 1. There's 24 million on the road, you know.
And you're gonna top that, Mr. Bear?
Well,
The Firestone 721. It's one tough tire to top.
It's tax time again. Are you afraid of being audited? Watch ABC's World News tonight, Monday.
Taste the high country. Taste the high country.
Once you taste the high country, no downstream beer will do. Coors is brewed with pure Rocky Mountain spring water and its own special high country barley.
It's no downstream beer. It's no city beer. It's Coors.
Taste the high country. Climb up to Coors.
When we make our shortcake at the Showboat, we use only the finest ingredients, and we bake it up moist and light. Next, we pick the very best berries. Big, plump, juicy strawberries. Red, ripe, and oh, so good. Then we top it all off with mountains of thick, rich whipped cream and serve it when it's just right. Because at the Showboat, there are no shortcuts with our shortcake.
KTNV TV, Las Vegas.
So in our live coverage, the semifinal match was won by Mike Durbin. His second in a row here, 266 to Joe Hutchinson's 182, who just passed me and said he knew it in practice that this was the way it was going to be for him. But for Durbin now, it's going to be the great Earl Anthony in our final match, $21,000 to the winner. Let's learn about bowling courtesy in a light, humorous way. Nelson Burton Jr. is joined by Mark Roth. Here they are.
The Pro Bowlers Tour Tip of the Week is brought to you by Rolaids.
Over the years, one of the most popular tips on a Pro Bowlers Tour involves Johnny Petraglia and Mark Roth in their bowling courtesy tip. And once again, John and Mark are back to show you some of the more frequently abused bowling courtesies.
Hey, John, how many balls do you have on the rack?
Only 6 or 7, Mark. Hurry up and bowl, will you?
Thanks.
John, 6 or 7 balls in the rack. There's no room for anybody else.
Well, bowl. If I could bowl as well as you did, then I need only 1 bowling ball.
Oh, come on. Another courtesy frequently abused, damaging the proprietor's equipment. Remember, that equipment is there for your use and not your abuse.
The New York Stock Exchange. When people here get acid indigestion, and you know they do, they can't just stop. No wonder so many people take Rolaids, the tablet that gives millions 100% relief. Like a sponge, Rolaids antacid medicine consumes 100% of the acid required to give millions 100% relief. With Rolaids, you can keep going. Rolaids. Rolaids spells 100% relief.
While Earl Anthony and Mike Durbin are completing their warm-ups, let's take a moment to look at the hot hand Earl Anthony has had in recent weeks here on the Professional Bowlers Tour. Earl's phenomenal streak began 5 weeks ago in St. Louis, the Gateway City, at the Rolaids Open. He qualified number 3, and after shaking off a back spasm, he defeated Paul Moser and Mark Roth. In the championship game, he met Tom Baker, but Earl's determination and concentration proved to be too much, and he emerged with a 218-202 victory to earn his 33rd career title. The following week, the tour traveled to Peoria, Illinois, where Earl had an uphill battle in the AMF Magic Score Open, but he had momentum on his side. After qualifying in 5th place, he advanced past 3 opponents to meet Roy Buckley in the title game. Earl started with 7 strikes, and Buckley was never able to mount a serious challenge. For Earl, it was a $20,000 payday and his 34th PBA victory. After finishing 3rd in the Cleveland Open, Earl moved on to Toledo, Ohio, site of the second jewel in bowling's Triple Crown, the PBA National Championship, an event he had won an unprecedented 3 previous times. He was a top qualifier in the tournament, and in the final game he met colorful Ernie Schlegel for the title. It was one of the most dramatic finales in PBA history, but the machine, as he's been aptly nicknamed, prevailed once again. And now, live Earl Anthony, ready for his 5th straight appearance on the Professional Bowlers Tour in the title match, the Miller High Life Open against Mike Durbin. This is the applause. Long A, capital of bowling, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and here's a man that's averaged 257 on this championship pair in 2 matches, a total of 18 strikes. He will be tough to beat. And Bo, earlier, Earl Anthony practiced very, very little on this championship pair.
Well, Earl being the only lefty in the championship round, Chris, when he finds the line, he doesn't want to bowl too many shots and move the conditioner or oil around and change his shot. So hopefully he knows right where to go on the very first ball because no one else has played on that side today.
All even after a frame. We had a chance earlier to ask Earl how he determines the angle that he's going to play from the left side.
The way I determine where I'm going to play the lane is basically I'll come in and play my favorite angle first. If it doesn't work for me, I'll try to find a place the ball will skid through the hit area, the first 16 feet of the lane. If I can get that kind of a reaction in the first part of the lane, I can usually find a way to get the ball to the pocket.
You can tell he's a student of the game.
All even.
And whether you're a student or not, you're faced with the 4, 6, 7, 10. Watch.
The left lane hooking more for Earl as it has for the right-handed players, cutting right through, not a break at all. 4, 6, 7, 10. Earl would just go for 2 of them, the pin count.
Then leaves 3. Open frame in the second after a strike in the first. And now Durbin can jump on the air with a strike in the second frame.
Durbin in super physical condition, experienced player, a winner all the way through, is not going to give Earl any room to breathe.
And the man with 18 strikes in the first 2 matches that he's been in has opened with a double and a 26-pin lead.
Mike, a full-time pro bowler, does nothing but bowl. He bowls year-round, and one of the really nice things he does for the players on the tour is heads up the Bible study group, Chris, every week out here for the players that want to avail themselves of that service. Leads by 26, can extend the lead to 36 through 3 frames.
Oh, he is on. 3-bagger, 36-pin lead, and now Anthony will have to really start stringing them. He opened with a strike, if you just joined us. Had an open frame as he left the 4, 6, 7, 10. So now he's shooting in the 3rd frame. This is the final match. Good break as a replay that shot.
Earl Anthony with that style we've seen so often. The bent elbow, the nice smooth rhythm, steady head, shoulder high backswing. And he's also playing that outside line, much like Durbin. The ball breaking a little sharper at the back end than Durbin's. Gets the love tap, 4 into the 7. Can cut deep Durbin's lead to 26.
Oh, another tough break. 4, 6, 10 on that left lane.
He can't believe it. Ball's breaking through very sharp. Excellent shot by Earl. He thought that ball would set right there in the pocket, but the very sharp break he got on the back end has left him wide open again. This match could be a runaway very early.
Appeared that he slipped at the line, and it's unbelievable. In 4 frames, 2 of them open, and trailing by 48, Earl Anthony. More after this.
Hey there, Tex. What in the blazes is that thing?
This is one of them new small models.
Ride good?
Good, rides great. Got me some Monroe-matic shocks. Little big shocks from Monroe.
Little big shocks?
Yep, best ride I ever had.
Of course, them's Monroe's.
Darn tootin' Monroe little big shocks. Even fits imports.
Yeah, imports. What's imports?
Small car,
America rides Monroe.
Ford has some hot news for van buyers. No matter how you slice it, for 1981, Ford is out front again. Ford's out front design gives more turnaround room inside. Plus, unbeaten estimated MPG. And the best highway rating of them all. And Ford backs all this up with big payloads, too. Yes, when you put it all together, you get one tough van out front where it counts. Is it any wonder Ford's America's best-selling van?
Professional bowler in the red shirt is in his third match in our live telecast from the Miller High Life Open in Milwaukee. He won 2, and quickly he's gone out to a 48-pin lead over the man that's won 3 this year, Earl Anthony. 3-bagger, 4th frame. That one's slipping by. The 2-4-5 on the right lane.
The first errant shot we've seen Durbin make in the 2 matches. He's been awesome so far. He just flipped that ball a little too far out on the lane and left the 2-4-5. Durbin playing that extreme outside line has kept the ball in the pocket. When he can do that, you're going to get tremendous scores and good pin carry.
Just got them. 77 to the third. A spare up in the 4th frame of the Miller High Life Open. The Miller Lite Classic is the event that starts out our tour here in the 20th year. And along with Mark Roth, this is the man that's been practically a star of our telecast, Earl Anthony.
Don't count out Marshall Holman.
Well, he's been on too, hasn't he?
Durbin, experienced, tough pro, not showing much emotion, has his match well in hand. He knows it. He just doesn't want to give it away.
Strike in the 5th for Mike Durbin.
Earl in a position that we haven't seen him in all year, trailing by 45, his back definitely to the wall.
One, 3, 6. There's Susie Anthony. And of course here on ABC, coming up next would be the making of that spare, and then ABC's Wide World of Sports, endurance, triathlon from Hawaii, and world ice dancing. That was a spare in the 5th for 42-year-old Earl Anthony.
Anthony just off in his rhythm. He's pushed the ball on the right-hand lane by the pocket and just cannot figure out the left-hand lane. He's made 2 good shots and paid penalties for both shots. He has to take a guess, move more to the center for the left-hander, that be moving to his right with a little more speed.
The 3, 7, and 9.
The only analogy we can draw with these shots that Earl is having today is, Chris, that really only a mediocre player can't have a bad day. So Earl definitely in trouble. He's been up and down all this year. He's had 2 150s so far on the telecast. Look at him trying a little backup ball.
Well, it amazes me how Marshall Holman, Mark Roth, and Earl Anthony can maintain the concentration they've had to have getting into the finals as often as they have.
Well, a lot has to do, Chris, with the championship pair. It's just drawn at random. There's no particular reason why we use any particular pair, but you can bowl in a bowling center like this and use 24 pairs and not like one pair. It's like one hole of golf a player doesn't like. Earl Anthony's definitely struggling on the championship pair.
And Mike, with his double, has increased his lead in the championship match by 71 pins.
Unbelievable. Durbin, machine-like out there. That's the thing we usually see Earl Anthony doing, and yet Earl's struggling. Earl right now at a 156 pace. He knows the situation. I'm sure he's a little disheartened at not having a good shot at winning 4 out of 5, but he's a champ. He'll be back. It's all academic. How much Durbin can really shoot for his 3 games. He has 5-14 for the first 2.
Andy opened with a 3-bagger, and now he's strung another, and an 81-pin lead.
Not much to say about this. This is where Durbin's put almost all his shots all day.
Feudal. He just joined us in the first match. Kevin Gillette ousted Dave Houston 258 to 225, and then Gillette was eliminated by Durbin's 248 to his 182, and then Durbin 266 to Joe Hutchison's 182. All but 7.
Earl Anthony all but out of the running for this championship. 10,000 difference between the two players this game. Durbin looks like he's going to take home 21,000. Earl Anthony will increase his leading money-winning ways on the Pro Bowlers Tour with another $11,000.
And of course, Earl, with what he picks up today, will be over $90,000. And we're only in March.
Not bad for 3 months.
So that just does it for Mike Durbin, and we're only in the 8th frame. As right now, we're going to ABC News for a special news report. We'll return to this match immediately following this special report from ABC News.
Good afternoon. The longest airline hijacking in history is over. 3 Pakistani terrorists who held more than 100 hostages aboard a Pakistani jetliner surrendered to Syrian officials. The terrorists had demanded the release of some 50 Pakistani political prisoners. The Pakistani government complied, but the deal went bad earlier today when Libya refused to give asylum to the political prisoners. There were threats to kill some or all of the hostages on board the plane, but today the hijackers simply gave up. Repeating, 3 Pakistani terrorists holding more than 100 hostages have given up in Damascus, Syria. This is Richard Anderson, ABC News, New York. More news later on the ABC News Weekend Report.
All right, the man that has lost the championship match in the Miller High Life Open, Earl Anthony, with a strike in the 9th frame. But Mike Durbin has been unbelievable. 102-pin lead, Bo.
Chris, he can set the record for the biggest margin of victory with a strike on this ball. The roll record is 105.
Wow. Leading by 112, Mike Durbin make it 102. We'll return after this.
STP, a big name in racing for nearly 20 years. STP oil treatment on the track in some of the world's most expensive engines. Around the track, around the world, every day, tens of thousands of people get STP oil treatment. Get it for your car. Satisfaction guaranteed. Around the track, around the world, STP oil treatment is #1.
Dial-it has national sports news. It's new, it's rational just to call National Sports for all the latest reports. We're talking national sports news. We've got it all. 900, what a wonderful call. 900-976-1313. 900-976-1313. Dial-it. We're talking to you.
Looks like this big old hole in the ground is going to be safe for the night. Over.
They come on, old Pete. It's Miller time.
Miller time. Time to appreciate the difference between a good beer
when it's time to relax
and a great beer.
One beer stands clear.
Miller High Life.
You got the time. We got the beer. Come Miller time. We got the beer.
It's the ultimate challenge as far as I'm concerned.
Some men have a dream that to others would be a nightmare.
I usually throw up most of the race.
To race all day and all night, to cross nearly 700 miles of some of the world's roughest terrain, to pass the supreme test of human stamina and mechanical endurance, to survive the Baja 1000.
Oh, but I got to admit, the Baja's beaten me a few times, too.
The ultimate challenge is the Baja 1000. Plus American Cup Gymnastics next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Al Michaels in our New York studios. We'll move back out to Milwaukee in a moment, but let's update you first in the NCAA basketball tournament. Earlier today, shocking upset. St. Joseph scoring at the buzzer. John Smith with a layup, defeating DePaul 49-48. Elsewhere in Eastern Regional action, 16th-ranked Brigham Young upset 10th-ranked UCLA 78-55. Danny Ainge high for the Cougars with 37 points. And in the Midwestern Regionals, 4th-ranked Louisiana State easily defeated Lamar 100-78. In World Cup skiing, American Phil Mayer failed to add to his second-place total of 234 points in the overall standings. He finished 24th today in the giant slalom held in Furano, Japan, but there are still 4 events remaining on the World Cup Tour this year, and Mayer has his fate in his own hands. He can clinch the title by winning both a slalom and a giant slalom from here on out. All right, right now let's go back out to Milwaukee and Chris Schenkel.
Miller High Life Open has been won by Mike Durbin of Chagrin Falls, Ohio. No chagrin on his part today because his series of 791, a 263 average. Congratulations, Mike. Victory is sweet.
It sure is, Chris. You know, before I started the show, I couldn't make up my mind which ball I wanted to use, and I decided I was going to use the plastic ball when I got that one open in the first frame of the first game. Well, I said, well, that's it for that, and I went back to old reliable, that, well, I can't mention the ball, but anyway, the other one, and it sure turned out right today.
What did you know that the other 4 didn't?
Well, I really didn't know anything special, except I had a good shot to the pocket. When I got up this morning, I have a practice that I read a little bit of scripture every morning, and the first verse I looked at this morning, it said, don't be afraid, don't panic, for the Lord your God is with you. And I just kept thinking about that verse the whole time, and boy, it turned out right today.
All right. For the check and a trophy is Charlie Whipple, who is Vice President National Retail Sales for the Miller Brewing Company. Charlie, I know you were impressed. Come on in here and join us.
I certainly was impressed this afternoon and all through the Miller High Life Open Tournament. I congratulate you on behalf of the Miller Brewing Company. This lovely trophy here, you more than deserve it. And, of course, the $21,000 winner's check.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you.
Winner, before you make another comment, I'm going to go to Nelson Burton Jr. because he's with the loser. Bo?
Thank you, Chris. Earl, you know, we've seen some really erratic scores. You've had 3 150s, and yet you've shot some 260s. We saw Durbin average 263 today. Really, what is the reason we've had that erratic scoring so far this year?
Well, I think it's the surfaces we're bowling on, Bo. They change a little bit as the telecast progresses, and a guy gets out there and he thinks he might have something, and it's pretty hard in one game to make a change, especially a drastic change. I went out and just made too many bad shots. Mike bowled fantastic. He deserves to win.
How about the disappointment of not winning 4 out of 5?
Well, maybe next time. Who knows? I'm going to keep trying.
Okay, Earl, you know, you're going to take off next week, and then you'll be down the True Value Open. We asked you this question earlier, is that really how much do you think that a top player like yourself going at the rate you're going could win on the Pro Bowlers Tour? Could they get up to 200,000?
If he hit the key tournaments, the Firestone and tournaments of that nature, he could make 200,000. Yeah, I think so.
Are you going to bowl this summer and give it a shot?
I'm planning to. I'm going to bowl every week right now except Kansas City.
All right, partner, and back to Mike Durbin, the winner of this one.
And you know, Mike, the expression, what a difference a week makes, and the reason I point that out, when Mike doesn't make the finals, he works for us. Tell us about that job.
Well, when I'm not on the TV telecast, which isn't too often, I usually work in the truck with all the guys out there, and I like to say, hello, fellas, and Bob, you even won, even though you had me in the pool, so I don't know. I'm really excited now. I'd like to say thanks to the Miller Brewing Company for having the tournament. It's a fantastic tournament every year. They have 2 tournaments a year. They're one of our great sponsors. I want to say hello to my mom and dad out in California and my sister. And, of course, hello to my wife, Debbie, and my 3 kids at home. I'll be home soon.
Mike, Earl indicated his plans. He will not bowl next week. What are yours?
I'm not planning on bowling next week either, Chris. My wife has informed me that I should take a little more time off, so I'm going to. And I'm taking next week off, and then we're going down to Miami and have a little fun down there.
You have a neat wife. Mine keeps telling me to keep working.
Well, if I can make money like this, I don't have to work as often.
Don't blame you. Again, congratulations. 791 series, Mike. You're a deserving champion, and you've been a great credit to the PBA.
Thank you very much, Chris. It's a pleasure.
Mike Durbin, Charlie Whipple, here at the Miller High Life Open. Once again, the winner of this $125,000 tournament is Mike Durbin of Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Today's program was produced by Peter Engelhardt, directed by John DeLisa, technical director Bob Bernthal, associate director Bob Rosberg Jr. Now this is Chris Schenkel along with Nelson Burton Jr. saying so long from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Stay tuned, because next over most of these ABC stations, it'll be ABC's Wide World of Sports, featuring the Endurance Triathlon from Hawaii and the World Ice Dancing Figure Skating Championships from Hartford, Connecticut. Travel arrangements made through a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline.
Box of weenies.
Rob, we have a possibility of a tie. Now remember, there are no endless frames from here on out. Parker Bone finishes with 279. Walter Ray can strike out for 279.
Needs 3 straight strikes, does Walter Ray.
Second one's perfect.
Are you kidding me? Close. Looked like he just caved in the bucket.
There's a reason the captains picked Walter Ray and Parker Bone. And those two competitors are backing up their captains with a wonderful performance here.
Come on, babe. Come on.
That one looked much stronger than the earlier attempt.
And it was. And when you're a professional athlete, you live for moments just like this. Walter Ray stepping up, needing one more to tie. Take it to extra innings. This is why you practice. This is why you grow up aspiring to be a professional athlete.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Yeah!